Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Suleiman Raheem here. Welcome. We're going to slay some demons. Sisters and brothers and sisters, there's a lot to talk about. Time is moving fast. Time is closing in on our enemies and is lifting us up. It's our time now. And they're starting to feel our presence, as the Quran says. All these talking heads, they're really coming out now. Full blast. 24/7. Yak, 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 yak. And the fast their heads pop up, they get cut off. Swoop, swoop, swoop. Because they have nothing to say but garbage. But they keep coming, so it's fine. The more they come, because see, the swords we have, every time it lops over head, it just gets sharper. So it makes it more easier to chop off the next one. Talk about figuratively, because they'll say, "Oh man, he's talking about killing people, cutting people's heads off." They're so silly. They're laughable. They provide my comedy relief. There's some very dark days ahead. And they have no light. Those of you who are paying attention, you have light. The seed of Abraham will have light. They are in darkness, and their darkness, like the Quran says, it gets so dark, that when you see their hand in front of their face. A lot of them in dark, all of them in darkness now. It's just getting darker. Their chief demon is confused. He has no idea what's going on. He's talking about stuff that makes no sense because he doesn't have any idea what's going on. It took 7 months to even talk about this plague. And then what he said was totally nonsense. Redeeming devils and all this kind of nonsense. Where you get that from? He's not coming from the scripture. He has to say what he has to say because he's controlled by his master. He's a demon. And those with him are demons or just total idiots. But he's a demon, period. That should say it all. And why you follow demon, right? A seed of Yaqub, that's what demons are. The Yaqub seed. Demons are Yaqub's seed. Now, how in the world can you take and square that circle? If you claim that you have supreme wisdom, you're a student of Farad, and you're a student of Elijah Muhammad, then you're going to tell me that you're going to be mesmerized, seduced by a demon? So you are either a demon or a total idiot. The scriptures are just as bad. They're time anchors holding on to the past. So I'm not going to talk very long on this because the purpose of this is Al-Injil 9. Like I said, I have an ongoing series of going through every chapter step by step. Hopefully I can do 1 or 2 a week, maybe more, depending on the chapter. I'm not going to excruciating detail. Maybe in some instances I go in a little more detail than others. But it's just to show you, understand how the book works. Because you need to study it. If I go into excruciating detail, I'm not doing you any favors. I'm giving you a light, right? But I'm not giving you I'm not increasing your mental. Because the angel is your mental gym for nowadays. Mental gym. I mean, you have a physical gym, right? You have economic gyms. I mean, you go out there, try to make as much money as you can make. You have all kinds of gyms, right? But what about your mental gym? What is about your mental gym? What about that? You can't strengthen your brain? You can go and study, right? There's all kinds of gyms. Some are better than others. But this is This is it. This is the one for the times. See, you're going to be a mental hawk when you get that. Now with Injil. That's the mind of God encoded. Anyway, I just want to cover a couple of things here, and then we get into the presentation. I keep elaborating on our situation here. And I keep trying, part of the reason why I do it the way I'm doing it, because I'm trying to encourage you to get into study. And I'm growing also. I mean, anything that's not growing is dead. I'm growing also. I'm still learning. I'll be learning until I can't learn anymore. You should always study. For myself, as for me, I've been self-motivated. I'm self-taught as far as Angel is concerned. So I don't need anyone, I can read. So if I want to study, learn something, I just go get a book and study it. Why do I need to have a teacher read me a book, right, that I can read myself and pay them to do it? Why do I need someone to tell me, right, to go out and run every day when I just get up off my ass and go run every day, right? Or go lift some weights. Why need somebody tell me? That's what coaches do, right? Why you need a coach if you're self-motivated? We need to get self-motivated. But some of us can. I mean, you know, we have motivators. Even here, we have motivators. You know, some of us need motivation. I mean, you have leaders. Leaders have to provide a certain amount of motivation. You see? So there's nothing wrong with that. Unless you're just dead and you require 100% motivation, then, you know, then nobody's got time for that. No one needs a car they have to push everywhere. If you got to push anywhere, what the hell you need a car for? Just walk. Anyway, in regards to our situation here, I recently posted about sociopaths, and psychopaths. See? It tells you that's what Adam would be like. He'd be a sociopath and a psychopath. See? Make mischief and shed blood. That's what they do. That's what we're dealing with. And then you got the phenomena of redirecting your wrath, your anger. See? Redirecting it. So instead of going for those people they call themselves men that beat up on their wives, right? Okay, they can go out and buy a dog or kick around or punch a bag or something. They to redirect that anger, somebody beating on her. That's what some psychologists recommend. I mean, we've been told that. Redirect that anger, redirect that frustration. So if you're angry people, right? If you're a sociopathic person, right? And you always angry and frustrated and always doing things all the time, right? Anger, I mean, then if you can find some way to redirect that anger, then you can be calm, you can walk around like a normal person. Or you can just be doing it all the time. And that's where we come in. Because if they're a sociopathic nation, see, then they focus all their anger and frustration on us. I'm trying to get that point to you. It's the balance. I keep talking about the balance, brothers and sisters. It's the balance. See, that's a mathematical concept. I mean, that's bottom line. That's the most fundamental principle. Because balance is consequence. That's what balance is, right? Consequence. Every action has opposite equal. I just call by another name, but still balance. Everything has to balance. Everything. You reap what you sow. Everything, that's what it says. Everything has to balance. So that's the balance you have here in America. See? At one time you got You had two extremes, and they balance each other, right? See, if you take the balance is 0, right? Then 5 equals 5. We put 5 on the other side, you have 5, negative 5 equals 0, because they balance each other out. So that's the balance, so it comes out to 0. That's why they call false Israel the Antichrist, because the balance. Everyone has a balance. When you're born, you have a balance. The balance out, because whatever the balance is at that particular time, they call it the fulcrum. The fulcrum is that the fulcrum is like, this, right? The screwdriver, that's the fulcrum, right? So the fulcrum can shift. So if it here in the middle, right? If the fulcrum's here in the middle like this, then what's on one side has to be on the other side. But if you move it over here, right, then you have what they call that leverage. So if you have it over here, that means you can have it takes more weight on this side, makes more weight on this side to balance the weight on that side, right? So it depends where the balance is. See, so the balance shifts every time we get like the balance shifts way down here for us. So we had almost no leverage at all during the energy deprivation, but now it's moving more and more towards the center, more and more towards the center. And then it moves over here like, man, we have a lot of total leverage. That's where it works. As every time we get energy bursts, right, every 50 years, approximately 50 years, right, then the balance becomes more and more in our favor. It doesn't stay equal like that all the time, right? That has nothing to do with what I'm saying about that has an equal reaction. But that gets into something we'll talk about another time, where it says that no, I'm not going to that right now because I guess a whole other subject, right? So the thing is that everyone has right now. If the balance is okay, the balance shifts, right? Like go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 10 or whatever. So at the time energy deprivation, right, the balance is very negative, right? But everybody born has an antichrist that balance them. So if you're born a 10, right, and the balance is 0, that means you're going to generate a negative 10. So that means you're going to generate another person that's going to be born at the same time as you, that's totally negative to you in every way. You may never meet that person, but everything that person does is going to be affecting you. They may be on all sides of the world, but they may come up with some kind of invention or something, whatever, and it's going to somehow cause you problems. Everybody's born with that. And like I said, you may meet the person, it may be 2 or 3 persons, maybe, maybe twins. You may be a 10, maybe a -5 and a -5. It could be 5, 10 people, 10 negative ones. It still will come out that way. You may meet some of them, you may meet any of them. And they're going to always be negative towards you, no matter what. Right? They're going to neutralize everything you do. Everybody's born like that. That's what they call it anti. So some people, like, the more powerful you are, the greater. So if some person's born maybe a 10, some people may be born 1,000. That means the anti is going to be -1,000. That's how you know how powerful that person is. You understand? By the degree of negative, how powerful that negative is. So that's why they call the Christ, they call it false Israel, Antichrist. Because that's how powerful he is. He's powerful as that whole nation of Antichrist, of false Israel. That's how powerful he is. Now, because they came into existence at the same time. The same age. That's why I said when you see a star rise up in the east, right, that's the same time he'd be conceived. They'd be the same age, because that's how powerful he is. But remember, I said the thing keeps shifting, right? The thing keeps shifting. So every 50 years, right, about 50 years, right, it shifts more in your favor. So the way to look at that is that here's your Antichrist, right? And well, I'm trying to make it simple, as simple as possible. They're 10, they're 1,000, you're 1,000, right? Okay. But it shifts in your favor. So therefore, you shift up to 1,200, right? And they stay at 1,000. So that means now they're getting weaker and weaker and weaker until the point where they have no effect anymore. They go to zero while you're going to. That's not exactly what the math way, but I'm trying to give you the conceptuality of it, right? Because with the energy burst, right, it's in your favor, not in theirs. So your leverage increases until, right, until they have no leverage at all, and you have all the leverage. So maybe I show it again this way. So they equal like that, but then it keeps shifting, right? Until they have no leverage, you have all the leverage. At that point, they have no power at all. So their power is getting weaker all the time. See, their power is getting weaker all the time, yours getting greater. And that's why it was called Antichrist, because that's how they balanced him out. But he comes weak, he comes stronger and stronger and stronger until the point they have no power at all. Because at the time that's why at the time, instead, at the war starts, right, that's time that Suleiman comes into power. You know, that's why I said you see Suleiman coming and you see him come with the clouds, right? That's the same time false Israel goes down. You see the connection? Because they're losing power as he's getting stronger. But they start equal at the time they both could see they're both equal. And everyone has that. You have that. You might meet that person that might be a spouse, right? Not usually well. But it could be anybody. See? Well, it could be a spouse, right? Because the person that was wanting to enter, he may have died, had a child, or whatever. I don't know. The point is, you're going to have that negativity. See? You're going to have that negativity that's going to neutralize everything you do in your life. You may never meet that person, or you may meet him. Maybe you're on a job and you find this clown, he's always just doing everything against you. Just trying to undermine you in every way. You say, wow, why he's doing this? It's his nature to do it. You say, why he hate me? Because he's anti. And he gonna think, that person gonna think anti against you. That's the way they think. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't convince that person, you can't control that person, you can't change that person, because that's what they are. And just as you're anti to them, that's the anti you, you're anti to them. Because everything you do is frustrating them. Because they feel you're attacking them. See? Because here they act like we're doing something to these people here. And they're doing it to us. So it's contrary nature. That's why it's that contrary nature. See? Yahweh's creation is contrary to us. Both cannot coexist. See? So that's how you get a measure of Suleiman, right? Because that's why they call those Antichrist. They don't say these things in scriptures for no reason. Then it says you found, and then you go and check and you find he's conceived at the same time. Is that a coincidence? You see, at the same time the star rose, and it's like I said, and it says, oh, he was born. No, it says the star rose in the east. If star rises in the east, that means you got to be in the west. It's all there, brothers and sisters, if we just think about it, but we just listen to what the preacher says and everything. Well, but that's what I say, that race is psychopaths and psychopaths. And so they take and redirect their frustration, everything on us. So now they walk around like, hey, man, we free, all this kind of stuff. See, that's the balance there. Because they had the worst type of oppression and slavery and everything. At the same time, they got the greatest freedom on the planet. We free than anybody. Yeah, and at the same time, you got the total oppression, total slavery, rape, and everything over here, total injustice, but you got total justice over here, total freedom over here. You understand the balance? This wouldn't have happened if it wasn't we here. We quit. Now, if we wasn't here, right, then there would have been all that stuff they was doing to us, they've been doing to each other. Because that's what they was doing in Europe. Go and talk European history. They was terrible against each other. Just as bad as they was to us over here. Recheck the history. They wasn't over there we're Democrats, we're free, we got freedom of speech, and no, hell, they had none of that. You should have no freedom of speech. In fact, the church had control. The church was just as oppressive as the king was. In fact, more, because the church extradite your ass. I mean, remember you heard what they call that, the Inquisition? It was burning people up just because they didn't believe the way the Pope said they should believe. You got to understand what's going on. So when people tell you we're going to be at peace with them and we're going to convert them and we wait for them to repent and all that BS, you listen to that Farrakhan, listen to that shit. See, you listen to that shit he's talking about, and well, if you listen, if you're a seed of Abraham, you shouldn't be listening to crap at all. If you are, you better get out of it. The demons, they're going to listen to that because they ain't got no choice. You see? So when you understand the psychology of the whole thing, then you understand that's bullshit what he's talking about. He ain't going to bring devils into NOI. We're going to have them repent and all this stuff. We understand the nature of the lesson goes totally against that, because the point is they're not going to change their nature. And if they did change their nature, they'll be oppressive to themselves. When we act on ourselves, are we oppressing ourselves? We're unhappy. Look, so many black folks are unhappy and everything, because I'm talking about original black people, because they're getting high blood pressure and heart attacks and everything else, acting other than themselves, because you cannot be happy acting other than yourself. It's impossible. So I'm trying to so if you have to think these things through. Right? It says they're made to make mission shed blood. What's the psychological definition of that? Psychopaths and sociopaths. By nature. And so the only way they can act normal, right? They have to direct that sociopathic nature and that psychopathic nature onto some other object. And that was us. If we wasn't here, you'd be talking about democracy and freedom and all that crap. They only could talk because they got somebody a punching bag. So if you got a neighbor, he lives on the second floor, or he lives on the first floor, and you live on the second floor, and y'all can't get along, he's constantly causing all kinds of trouble, your family and everything else, and y'all can go, and y'all getting the blows and everything. You say, well, hell, I'm moving out of here. I'm getting away from your ass. And then you move next door? You move next door? That's your answer? You gonna move next door? There's a fire car said, no, we're gonna get some stay, we're gonna move right next door. Ask the so-called Native Americans how it's working out for them. Farrakhan's gone. That guy is so foul, it's pathetic. See? I don't even want to talk about him anymore. It or whatever. But the point is, that's part of what I need to do, because we got to get rid of those demons. And he's been hurt by this. Don't get it twisted. He's been hurt by this. Because if you pay attention to this, now watch Sunday. Well, they probably will do it this Sunday. But go back in the past. Go back and look at when I placed the video and look what their message was that Sunday. If there wasn't a connection every time, because they're on the defensive. Because you got to explain. Because he had nothing to explain. And the point, because you got people in there that are really followers of Elijah Muhammad, Levites, right? And they become more and more dissatisfied because they don't see any connection between what Elijah Muhammad was teaching and that liar's teacher. Remember, they're Levites. You're Judah. You're Isaac, seed of Abraham. Levites are not. They're grafted in tribe. Okay, brothers and sisters. Let's get into the presentation. It's not a long presentation. In fact, it's it can be a long one. But like I said, each chapter has its own personality. And each chapter is really, when you look at it and when you understand the Injil, each chapter is talking about this war. It's all pointing towards war. I said that war will change your life. It's going to change the whole world, because that is the boiling point. The war is a sign. It's the boiling point, right? That for them, it's a transformation point for us, right? It's a transformation point for them also. But it's a positive transformation point for us. It's destructive. It's a constructive point for us. It's a destructive point for them. 212 degrees Fahrenheit, the boiling point. It's a constructive transformation for us, right? From coal into diamonds. It's a destructive transformation from them, coal into dust. See? That's at that point. That's what when you get understand the angel, when you get into it, you're saying all these things are focused around that war. That's a sign, right? We see a sign of Suleiman in the heavens. Okay. So I'm gonna go into it. Like I said, I'm going into it in some detail, but I'm not going to excruciating detail. In some cases, I do a little bit because it's necessary to try to, because some of these things are so subtle. You have to, but not because you have to study it if you want to get that God mind, right? And to make those slots, you want to get that God heart, right? Okay, bro, let's move into it. Chapter 9, the locusts. Okay, locusts, chapter 9. Okay, this is a topic I've been leading off with lately, and I'm just going to touch on it. But this, if you read this, you should study this carefully, because what it's talking about is that all the nations, A-L-L, all the nations are gathered together in a confederation against us, a conscious federation to destroy us, all the nations. Read it. They have taken counsel against our people, against our hidden ones, right? So they hate us. They're our enemies. They hate us, right? And they're conspiring together. You know, when India and China come and invade America, they're not just coming after the Americans, right, folks? They're coming to get you too, if you hear. See, one of the reasons why they're angry at America, because they can't understand how America just got rid of us. Because they know the danger of us rising. See? And America's not moving fast enough for them. That's one of the reasons. See, I've talked about that before. But that's one of the reasons. They come to get you too. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. That means they all together against thee. Right? And look at verse 6. That's what I want you to see. One of the confederates are the Ishmaelites. Who are they? That's the Sunnis. That's the ones whenever they're trying to get you into Sunnism. That's the Sunnis. Arab Muslims. Arab Sunnis. They're part of the confederation. They say it's some of them, all of them. See, because they're claiming they're the true seed of Abraham. They are the true seed of Abraham, but they claim they're the rightful heirs. They're not the rightful heirs. They are the oldest son, but by Abraham's maid. God sanctioned the one by Abraham's wife, Sarah, which is us. And they're pissed off about it. So they sold us into slavery, just like it says. We disturbed Joseph and the tribes. They sold us into slavery to destroy us. They hate us. They hated Joseph for even talking about it, that he was going to rise up. Read it. They use the word hate several times. See? And they're taking possession of all our land, our language. They try to make sure we was totally eradicated. So they have our language, our land, right, our religion, our holy sites, they got it all. They say it's all theirs. And we'll make sure we never get it back again. And that's part of getting you into Sunnism, because they thought that we'd be just lost over here. But since now that they see that we survived it, now they come back to take and finish the job off. Because if they get you into Sunnism, the whole idea in Sunnism is that you're nothing. In Sunnism, you're nothing. Because they're telling you that the false Israel is Isaac. So if false Israel is Isaac, because they'll tell you, yeah, false Israel. Because they ain't going to listen. You tell them you see Abraham, they say, well, get the hell out of here. They ain't going to listen to that. They ain't going to listen to that. Go and tell these Sunnis that you are a true seed of Abraham and see what reaction you get. You see? Because even though they don't like, right, false Israel, they'll say, oh no, because there's a method of madness. All of them are working together. Who's fighting over there? The Ishmaelites saying that's all that belongs to them because they have possession, 9/10 of the law. But then false Israel saying, well, we're Isaac. They pretend to be us. They took an identity. They said, well, it belongs to us. We're the oldest son. So they're making an argument, right? That's why they're trying to take over the whole region, right? Then you got the Christians, right? They're saying, oh no, Jesus got rid of all that, right? So now we're the spiritual seed of Abraham. So all belongs to us. So all three of them over there fight for that land. The resources. Don't you understand? And they got pushed out in the back because we supposed to be Ham. See, we're the one that was cursed. We was cursed black. That's how we became black. With nappy hair. Because we was cursed. Because we was sinful. Like Farrakhan is trying to tell you. We was sinful. We was evil. So we was brought here because of punishment. You see? We was brought here as a punishment. That's why he's a big liar. Reading it, show me in there where that says that. That's not says in the covenant there. It doesn't say that. But that's what he's saying. Who's above here because how you ever see anyone get rewarded for being punished? So why would we get a reward for being punished? So therefore, that's why he said we're not going anywhere because we don't have no reward. So all this we went through for 400 years, we went through, it was punished. It wasn't a sacrifice. So we're nothing. See, we're nothing. Because you go to Sunnis, we're nothing. Look, ask them about it in their eschatology. Who are we? We're nothing. We're nobody. We're some niggas that happen to accept Sunnism. That's all. We have no rights to any damn thing. That's why they still was going to Libya, what they doing to the black folks over there, the Africans. That's why he hates Gaddafi so much. Because we're nothing. That's what he wants to be. Nothing. Because they don't want us to step up. Because they don't want us to take possession of that land that rightly belongs to us. And false Israel saying they belong to them, so they don't want us to take us. Then they become a non-people with no identity and no land. They don't want that. Okay? And then America becomes the oppressors of Abraham's seed. You say, and they tell you what the judgment then would be like. Part of the judgment would be in 2020, 1619 to 1619 to 2019 is the 400 years. 2020 would be the year of the beginning of the judgment, beginning with a plague. It came in right on time. That will kill the firstborn. That's the elderly. Isn't that what it's doing? But look at 10. Then we're gonna move into this. This is what they want. See, they want us to be shit in the earth. That's what it said. Become as dung. Dung is shit, and that's what they've done. They've betrayed us as fools, liars. Who's doing that? Who's betraying our image? Isn't that false Israel betraying our image? Betraying our image in Hollywood and all over the place? We're sexual predators, we're sick, we're murderers, we're pimps, we're whores, we abuse our women, we abandon our children, you understand? We're just clowns like Martin Lawrence and Snipes and Rock and all these clowns, you understand? Betraying us, all of them. Because they wouldn't be in no position, they wasn't house Negroes. They're the devil's seed, they're demons too. And that's what they want. And that's what they're portraying us. So that means we nothing, all the nations, that's what all the nations, because that deserve what we get, because we nothing but shit in the earth. And that's what they have made us. And that's what you give, black folks have no respect anywhere in the world. Elijah Muhammad came and gave us a degree of respect, but Farrakhan has ripped that away, so now we're back being dung in the earth again. It says right there that that's what Aaron would do. Make us derision before enemies, a laughing stock, a mockery. Exactly what he did. It's not no more respected. Not even the MGT not respected anywhere. Nobody fears them, nobody respects them anywhere. They know it's the truth. That's what I said. They want to make us shit in the earth, dung in the earth. So that we justified, we have no power, they justify the nation doing what they want to do to us. That's why you understand. And then, so over here, so now the psychopaths and the sociopaths are kicking our ass, taking their frustration, directing their frustration, their anger, you understand, all that on us. So now they can walk around saying how free and everything they are, because instead of doing to us, doing to each other, they're doing to us. So they go in their course are just towards them, right? The police are just towards them and everything, because they're taking frustration to us. And don't think, it's a cathartic idea. when they took before they had all this TV and all that kind of stuff, right? What they did, they took and they had big entertainment things every Friday, every weekend. They just go out and grab a nigga and they take him, castrate him, cut him up, and hang him. And all the kind of stuff. And all the community gathered around, children, everybody sitting around eating sandwiches and stuff, and drinking and laughing and taking pictures. And this was public. They put in newspaper. That's what we're going to do. They put in newspaper, open. It wasn't no hiding. It wasn't against the law. And that's what they would do. And black folks would hide because they know they just catch one. They didn't care. They just catch anyone. And so that's how they got off their frustration. Before they had NFL and NBA and all that kind of stuff, how they got off their frustration. You see how they worked up, they get over these sports games, they got more worked over that, over actually burning a black person alive, slowly. They'd be howling and screaming for years, for hours. And they'd be laughing, hey man, nigga, they roast his ass. That's what they was doing. And they still doing it now. You think they still do it now, it's just not public. You see people disappearing, you think they're disappearing too. It's not just a sex trade thing. They're still doing it. But when they do it back then, so now, right? So, and they're doing other ways. Because when a police officer shot, when these cops shoot one down, that's the same cathartic effect they got when they had was roasting niggas out there on sides. Because they said, now they're accepting it. Okay, what's the difference between them before they had TV and everything, being on scene, or sitting back now on TV and watch the same thing? They still get the same authority. Hey man, that nigga's burning up. He might not be able to smell it, but they can see it. They know, man, niggas been, you hear them howling, screaming, carrying on. Yeah, man, got that. So they still, exercising, their anger and all that stuff. Yeah, man, they got them niggas. So that's the same thing. So when a cop shoots somebody down, you think they say, yeah, man, niggas deserved it. So they feel better. It's still the same thing. And now we get more people. They spread all over America. And yeah, man, they burned that nigga up, man. Or they went and they shot that nigga. She was laying in the bed, man, blood 20 times. Because you don't need to shoot. You don't need to shoot an elephant more than 1 or 2 times. So why you need to shoot somebody 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 damn times? Why? Why did they shoot that black person 7 times? Why did they shoot that sister who was laying in the bed sleep, right, over 6 or 7 times? In the bed sleep. One shot wasn't enough. Was you going to jump up as a ghost or something? That's anger. You better understand it, bros. That's anger, and right now it's focus. And don't think it's going to excite. It's not. See, it's not going to go away. That's their nature. It says it's their nature. So Friday night, he's going to convert them. He's going to change them because he's a liar. He's with them. And he's saying what they tell him to say because otherwise they're going to put his ass in jail. So he can't get to him. They already got to him. They got to him for the last 42 years ahead of him. All they got to do is get one of those people that was supposed to kill Malcolm. It was suggested. They already set him up. They already warned him. All one of them have to say is that Farrakhan was in on it. Implicate him. And that's it. Then they charge him. How you think? You think he's gonna walk away from that? How? How's he walk away from that? They don't get a jury that's gonna be on his side, right? They're gonna be, really? He's gonna pull an O.J. Simpson. At least they liked O.J. Simpson. Nobody likes this clown. I don't think he like himself. His ass been in jail for the rest of his life. And you know it. So don't tell me they can't get to him because I already got to him. They told him if he don't do it, they tell him to, they're going to put his ass in jail for the rest of his life. You know he'll be in there and nobody will help him, nobody cares about. And his so-called FOI army that he's made up, because the fools of Islam, they're not really FOI. They already tell you they wouldn't do a damn thing. Because this is what they're saying. Well, he's going to be crucified. He's going to be crucified. They're going to come in and crucify him. But he's already crucified. Allah has already disemboweled his lying ass. Cowards don't need balls. He's shitting and pissing in the bag. But they talking about, he's going to be crucified. And you're going to listen to that. Do you read between the lines? And they're gonna let them walk in and crucify their Savior? Do you know something? I'm an FOI. I grew up under Elijah Muhammad, right? I was one of the security guards in Chicago in between 70 and 75. So I was there, right? I've been as close to him. I ain't never talked to him directly. But I've been as close to him within feet of him, right? And he's communicated with me. He sent me letters and messages when I was foreman there at the Palm Springs newspaper through Minister Yusuf Shah, but I never talked to him directly. I wish I had. That would have made my world. But if anybody even suggested they was going to come in and crucify Elijah Muhammad, now I don't know what happened back there in the forest and everything when they put him in prison, all that kind of stuff. I don't know what message Elijah Muhammad told him, whatever. Right? But I know when I was there, if anybody even said something like that, their ass would have been handed to them, right? It'd been handed to them. I can't even tell you what happened to him. Nobody was going to come and mess with Elijah Muhammad, because if they had done it, right, there would be no. The only way they got to him, there was not one FOI left. Period. All FOI would have been dead. I mean, dead, not dying, dead. And there wouldn't have been an EGT because EGT would have got involved in that one. So nobody was going to walk in and crucify Elijah Muhammad. It wasn't going to happen. But then he's crying, oh, they're going to crucify Farrakhan Watcher. He's going to be so unhappy because the people that he really helped, they're going to be in on it. I said, are these people sick? See? He's part of the whole process. But it says all of them. We need to read this, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's move to the presentation. Okay, the second plague. Now, in this chapter, it's talking about two plagues, but you wouldn't notice it if you didn't pay attention. That's why you got to pay attention. Your angel. Pay attention to every word and get familiar with it, intimate with it. See? So, I'm going to talk about the second plague first because they actually talk about the second plague first. There's two locust plagues they talk about. That's not the only thing they talk about, but that's what I'm going to focus on for this presentation. Okay. Now, it starts out, the fifth angel trumpeted, and I saw a star fall out of heaven, having fallen into the earth. Now, the fifth, I put there, the red ones, they represent the trumpets. Now, the fifth and sixth one, right, well, on the bottom, under the fifth one will be the third one, under the third will be the first one, but I'm not sure. I'm leaving it like that because they're also keys, and the keys, they're also winds, right, and they're also stars, all of them. But so we want to focus on the fifth trumpet and the sixth trumpet. So the fifth one is the first one that falls. We talked about that before. The fifth one is the first one, not the first one. The fifth one is the first one go, then the sixth one, because the sixth one's holding back the first four. Then after the sixth one sound, then the first four released. Okay? So that's what's talking about right here. So we look at this. Okay, there you go right there. The fifth one. That's where it falls at. Where it falls to the earth. Remember, the earth is the part down there. And at that time, that's 2003. We talked about that. We talked about the half hour. We talked about in the previous, in the previous in 8, right? Okay, chapter 8. So that's where the Shia is at that time. So he falls there, right? And this gets, I said, every chapter has its personality. And you have to pay close attention because you can never figure out if you can't let anything get past. Everything means something. And I tell you, bro, says, I spent 30 years coming to this point, and believe me, it's been 30, 20, 24/7, 365, and any breaks. And that's what it takes to figure this out. And so now I laid the foundation. You should be able to build on it. That's where it falls at, right? The fifth one. Then it says, we'll give him the key of the pit of the abyss. See? So he had to be given the key first before he let the locusts out. He had to be given the key first. But what was the key? He had to identify what the key is. See? Remember it says, one had he had the key to death and his Hades, and one had the key of David. The one key of the abyss, right? There's 4 keys. I'll talk about these keys one day. Maybe I'll touch on it sometime today. But it's 4 keys, right? The key of David, the key of hell and, hell and death, right? Or Hades and death, and the key of the pit. So this is the key of the pit here, right? Okay, so now this at the point where I jumped ahead, right? I jumped ahead here. See, because after the 5th one falls, right? In fact, there's one slight area. I didn't move the sun. I forgot to do that. I'm not going to correct. Should I correct that? I'm going to correct it because so I'm going to go back and let me correct it. I forgot that. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. That's what I was afraid of. Okay. So you have to go back and bring it back up. Okay. Let's get this right. Okay, I think that's okay. Okay. That's okay from there. Let's go to the other one. No, it's say here. Okay. I think that'll do it. Okay, brothers and sisters, 2003, right? Okay, so that's fifth one has fallen. Then I'm moving forward from that point up to the point where the war's taking place. See, because when I go step by step, but all the things that happen are within here. So I'm moving everything ahead to where the war is taking place and Babylon is falling. Because that's where he gets the key. That point, that's where he gets the key, because it's talking about getting the key. So you have to go ahead. There's he gets the key. Now he gets the key, right? And that's where he gets the key. Because he has to get the key to open up the abyss. Okay? And he said, when he opened up the abyss, stepped up smoke out of the pit of abyss smoke. So what's taught, it says, it was dark in the sun and the air out of smoke. Where the sun is? Up here. See? The air is up here. So that means the smoke stepped up here. Now, well, I'm not going to, I guess too complicated. That's what's talking about, right? See? So that's the demons and everything. They also call it smoke, but I'm not going to go into detail. So it's up there. See? That's what it's talking about. Excuse me. Let me change something here. Okay. So that's what's talking about, smoke. So in other words, this is the resurrection. It's very subtle stuff, though, so you have to pay very close attention. See, that's how you know it's talking about it went up there. So that's the resurrection taking place. Okay? Remember, this is the second locust plague, not the first one. And then it says, out of smoke came out locusts into the earth. Now it's back to earth again. So that's the second plague. See, because the locusts, I should actually put that there where you see the green demons. That's the locust. Where you see the cross at, that's the locust. I probably should have said locust there. That's the locust talking about. See, they come out to earth, so they're back on earth now, and give authority upon having authority as scorpions of the earth. This is the second locust plague. It lasts for 5 months also, but this one takes place right after the resurrection, and demons are thrown back into the earth. Like I said, once they're thrown, that's what's talking about the man, the demon-possessed man. Remember, he said he didn't want to leave the country. He says, let him go back to the swine daddies, right? He went back and they run off the cliff together. That's what it's talking about here. See, it's also Samson. You see Earth, where's America and Britain right there? That's Samson standing between the two pillars. See, the two pillars hold the Western civilization together. He brings them down and brings it down upon himself. See, he's the demon right there, the green one. That's also Samson. That's what that's talking about. See, because he went through slavery too. See, but he never got his eyes back because he's not original. He's a demon. See, he was angry. So at the end, right, because he brings it down, so that means he's bringing down. So that means they bring down, they're no more. So they're going to test countries like you. You think the 5 months just passed with something? No, this is going 1,000 times worse. Going to tear this country apart internally, which was their greatest fear. While America's at war, see, at this point in time, America's at war. The war in the Orient, it's also war in Europe. Just talking about there. And was told them in order they will not treat unrighteous better than earth, nor every greenish, nor every tree, and not the men who are not having the seal of God upon their foreheads. It was given in order they should not kill them, but in order they will be tormented months 5, torment them as torment scorpion who never hit man. And in those days will seek the men to death, and not they will find it, and they will die and flee the death from them. Somebody in America down here. See, because it used to be up here, right under. See, death represents the sea up here, that British figure. See, but now they're down here and they don't know where death. And they will seek death. They want to come back to power they had, right? When they was up here. See, when they was up here, they was in charge. See, they had the sea down and everything. When they was up here, they was in control of the Middle East. They would seek to get back, but they're not be able to. That's what it's talking about. See. That's to my America, that's to my Britain, to my America. It follows Israel. Okay. It's 2020. Okay, now let's talk about the first plague. See, and talking about that's, and this is very tricky. You got to really pay close attention to this one. It took me a while to kind of get close to this one. What's happening here is they're talking about the locusts in 2 positions, and that's the key to this. And the likes of locusts like horses have prepared into war. See, so in the position they are right now, it's not like horses, because horses would be the one on the bottom because it's like someone's sitting on it, right? And upon the heads of them, crowns like the gold. So the golden crowns would be the shield. Remember, the golden part would be the top part, right? The top 2 of each nation is the golden part. So they're not in that position now. And the face of them is the face of men, okay? And again, right? And the face would be where the 5th is. That would be their faces because they would be on the top, right? But they're not the face because they're down the bottom down there, right? Anyway, let's move on. And the hair has hair, teeth, and so forth. And they were having breastplates of breastplates made of iron. And the breastplates would be the shield. It would be the breastplates because iron also represents European nations, right? And they were having, and sound of wings of them, and that was right. So remember that women had 2 wings of an eagle. Sound of hares, many running to war. They are having tails like scorpions, stings, tails of authority. Let me treat unrighteous men months 5. That's 5 months for them also. They had upon the king, angel of the abyss, named him Hebrew, and the Greek name is Apollyon. Okay, so now right there, now this is the situation I'm right now. See, because Apollyon, Babylon is Hebrew, that's the false Israel. They claim the Hebrews. And the Greek represents the European, American Britain. See, so they're on top of them right there. So that's the position they are right now. But the other position I talked about, they wasn't in that position right there. It says they were like crowns like gold. They wasn't in that position. That's not position. But the one they're talking about now, that's the position they're in. But when you go here, right? Now, talking about the demons again, right? The demons, right? See? But now, the demons are in that position. Because now the sackcloth, right, there will be the gold, they'll be on their heads, right? The face of man, the fifth trumpet, you see, and so forth and so on. See. And the demons are like horses now, because that's what the position they should be in. That's where the position the horse would be. Like the saints, they're in the same position, like the reddish, that would be the position of a horse, and the white position of a horse. So that's what's talked about. So why is that saying that like that? Because in a position, if you go back and look at chapter 11, how I show you how to figure out the dates, right? Okay, and then this position, right? And they've been in this position, right, until after September. Remember, I said after September, right? Because the whole thing will occur between October, November, and December, right? So that's the position they're in. But when they get in this position, right, they'll be after September, okay? But before, no, so I got it wrong, sorry, excuse me. That'll be after September 2018. That's in their position, because they're in their position for 2 years. Until September, right, 2018. 2020. But then you got that period of time where it says it will be after September, before October. So I'm not going to that mathematical thing. You go into it, you understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the chapter 11. So what's telling you that this demon plague would occur before October 2020, but after September 2018. So it'd be in that period of time, and that's when it was, because it started out in May, I believe it was May, June, July, August, September, and all of a sudden it just died out. It died out at the end of December, end of September. That's why they're doing that. So they're telling you there's 2 different locust plagues. That one, this is the first one, right? It's over. And the next one that will take place, when once the resurrection has taken place and the demons are separated and thrown back into the fire, right? Back to their devil daddies. That's what it says in Demon-Possessed Man and Book of Mark. See? So that's when they tear this country apart. When America's at war, right? And we're gone. See? Because if you see top there, we're now with the Shia. The Shia is not coming here. So that means we're going to be going and we'll be gone. The saints will still be here because they're part of the waters, the rivers and water. That's tribulation. That's the flood that's going to drown the European nations. That's the tribulation. But the saints, right? The Levites, they're going to be in a tribulation. Why? Because they were supposed to read the story. I'm not going to it now, but the Levites, Elijah's Levite, he's supposed to prepare the way before Suleiman, prepare the way before me. He laid the foundation. They were supposed to take and continue the process to build a bridge, right, between Elijah and Suleiman. That's what they're supposed to do that 42-year period. But Farrakhan came along, deceived them, mesmerized them, whatever you want to say, And so they, instead of building that bridge between Elijah and Suleiman, right? Because they're supposed to continue Elijah Muhammad's programs, building everything. They're supposed to build a bridge between the two. Instead, they built mansions for Farrakhan. So therefore, they didn't do their job. So a lot of people are lost. A lot of people are still out there, right? And so now, because they're a priest tribe, they was grafted in. Read it carefully. They was grafted in. They're not part of tribe of Shabazz. They're not Israel. They're Levites. They're the seed of Levi. We're the seed of Abraham. But they was grafted in as a priest tribe. And their whole mission was to take, and any prophet or messenger come along, right, they were supposed to help them, aid them, right? But they didn't do it. That's why they're going through tribulation, being punished. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's it. We're going to call it, yeah, that's it. That's it, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's pretty much it. I think that covers everything I wanted to say here. We're going home. We'll be home next year. We got some, this thing is, we're literally, it's going to jump off in a very few days. Watch out, November. Watch out, November. Okay? They would like to know exact day, like exact week, whatever. No. They'll find out when it happens. But it's about to break loose. When temperature hit 212, I mean, there ain't nothing they can do about it. It's going to affect all Europeans. That means they're going to be fighting, coming out the pot boiling. That's why all Europe going to be at war with each other. See? And the part, right? See, because as the Suleiman comes and brings all the black folks together, so they won't have them to beat on. That's going to fuel it also. But they're going to get the demons that's going to be thrown back at them. But that's their own people. So they're going to get to fight with each other. See, when you watch the story when you read the story about Mark, about the demon-possessed man, why? Just don't make me leave the country. Let me go over to the swine. My swine daddies over there. And then said there was at peace. See, it says the swine was at peace. Why did it say that? They was at peace. Until the demons got into them, then they run up the cliff together to their death. Because they got to fight with each other. See, because long they was at peace as long as they had us, right? To kick on, to beat on for 40 years, to chew on, to shit on. But now they don't have that. They go after each other. See? And so the demons are part of them. The demons identify with them. Even if we allow the demons going hereafter. You understand? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off here. Every nation, there is it's like you are me, right? They can't just take my blood and give it to you because it has to be a match. They can't just transplant something. But that's this Frankenstein stuff that these Europeans trying to do because it's not going to work. Because in time of pressure, everybody's going to cling to their own nation. The angel tells you that. The Bible tells you that. See? They always see signs of it already because people, their patriotism is really towards their own people. I don't care how much they claim they would America and everything else. Unless they're demons, their patriotism is their own people. When the pressure is on, that's where their patriotism is going to be. See? So, the demons, they're not part of our nation. They look like us, walk, talk like us, but they're seed of their devil daddies. So, even if they came to hereafter, they will be blinded hereafter because we will come together as a nation, right? And so we come together. So the powers that we used, a lot of powers we had before, we're going to regain, like being able to telecommunicate and everything. But that's in between, just like, I think, but another person knows what I'm thinking because they got their own brain. So we could be able to do it amongst ourselves. But they wouldn't pick it up because they're part of someone else's brain. So they would be even blinded because we'd be communicating with each other telepathically, like they use the word, and they wouldn't be able to pick it up. See? And if their people was able to do it, they'd pick it up with them, but they wouldn't pick it up with us because they're different people. So if they come, it still wouldn't be able to make it if they allowed them to come in there. It still would be obvious. They would stick out like a sore thumb. Because we'd be like, I'm like right now, I move my arm and all that kind of stuff. I move my arm, right, and theirs don't move. How come yours didn't move? But when the devil move his arm, their arm move. See, you understand? You get it? See, and they said, well, there, you ain't part of us because we moved our arm, you didn't move. But when they move their arm, they move because you part of them. That's why they respond. Oh, our country, our founding fathers. They want to hold on to their devil daddy's names and stuff because that is their names. That is their founding fathers. They're not lying. That is. That's why they said it was such commitment. Because it is. You understand, brothers and sisters? They're not our brothers and sisters. When they think like that, that's their real way they think. You can't convert that. You can't change that. That's who they are. Assalamu alaikum.